Focus on my hand, not on my ear. Oh, for the love of Pete. Hi everyone, welcome back to Pavonine Studios Beauty and Art. If you're new here, my name is Amy. Today I am going to be doing a try on. Now I've played with these a little tiny bit, I have to be honest. So this is not exactly a first impressions, but kind of a first impressions. I'm going to be playing with some Danessa Myricks beauty cosmetics, and I picked up a few things off the website. I picked up the foundation, so that I'm really excited about trying. I picked up the Enlight Halo Powder. This is like a kind of a more glittery highlight. I have been testing this one and I've worn it in a couple of videos already. I picked up the cushion liner, or the cushion, let's see, what is this? Waterproof cushion color. Better get it right here. And I got the color Candy Apple, and it's like this super intense green, really pretty, and it is like a cushion. It did come with a little brush as well. And I picked up 4 of the cream, let's see, what are these called? These are the Color Fix cream colors. And so I picked up the Neon Matte Liquid, let's see, Neon Matte Liquid Pigment for face and body. And this is in the color Lollipop. I picked up the cream color matte liquid pigment in the color Magnetic. Now this is matte, but it is a like a sparkly matte, if that makes sense. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. I'll do some swatches. And I also picked up one of the other colors in that same kind of formula, I think. And this is the color Wild Orchid. It's like a really pretty dark purple. And then I picked up the Color Fix foils in Venus. So this is like a liquid glitter shadow. Now I'm probably not going to put all 4 or 5 of these on my eyes. I think what I'll do today is I'll use the Magnetic and the Venus on my eyes. Maybe I'll do like a kind of a halo eye. That would be kind of cool. I might give that a try. I don't know how these are going to like blend on my eyes, but I do know that the times that I have swatched them on my hands, they absolutely stay put. So you do have some work time, but once they're dry, they are waterproof, and they were difficult to get off my hand. But the other day this is when I did my Pinky Rose Exotic Peacock palette review. I used a little bit of Duraline and mixed it with this one just to make it a little bit more fluid, and I used it as my winged liner. So that was pretty cool. I was excited to be able to do that. So I'm going to put these on my hand, and I'm going to blend them out with my finger, and then you can see hopefully the colors. For the cushion one, I'm just going to pick it up on the little brush that it came with. So it's like a little eyeliner. I think these are supposed to be basically eyeliners. So it came with like a little brush, and I'll just put that on with that little brush. All right, so I've got my little swatches here. That's what they all look like. So you can see that the Venus, the glittery one, is kind of a duochrome situation. Now these look shiny right now because they are wet, but once they dry down, they're matte. And the purple and the blue are they've got like little reflex in them, so they're not matte and flat, they're matte and sparkly. I don't know how she did that, but she did that. So like I'm thinking right now, just off the top of my head, you know how when you see one of those colors in a palette that is a matte, but it's got like the little reflex in it, you put it on your eyes and the matte stays, but the reflex like blend away. These are what those probably should be. Today, I think I'm going to prime my eyes with the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. This has a little bit of a tint to it, but not a ton of tint. I will be interested to see if these crease or anything like that on my eyes because it's a cream color, and so I'm like, I don't know, that always seems to be kind of the issue with cream colors. I do, however, like the fact that these are okay for your eyes, your face, your lips. You can basically use them wherever and however you like, I think. The video that prompted me to try out Danessa Myricks stuff was one from Angie, and I will link her channel above, or I'll try to link the video itself above. But she tried the foundation, and I forget what else, the highlighter, and I was intrigued enough. I don't think she tried any of the cream colors. I could be wrong about that. So because I don't really know quite what to expect, I'm not even sure exactly how to put these on my eyes. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the metallic, that's the blue, and we're going to go in with like a flat shader brush, and then I'm hoping that I will have enough time to blend it out with a little bit of a fluffier brush. We'll see how this goes, and if I need to, I'll go into some other colors from some palette, I don't know, to do like transition type work if I need to. I'm hoping that I won't. That is definitely pigmented. I just hope I have enough working time here to do what I want to do. That's my only concern. Okay, there's my initial laydown of color. I am connecting the outside and the inside in the upper crease and above the crease, but I'm not too worried about like how well it is blended there, only because I plan to go over that with the Venus glitter shade, and I kind of plan to start here, have the bulk of it in the center, and then kind of tap it out up above. That's my plan anyway. So that seemed like it worked pretty well. I'm going to pick up a tiny bit more. It occurs to me that I probably should have taped off my eyes because I don't think that I would be able to clean this up with just a wet wipe, but I didn't do that, so we're gonna go with it. Maybe I'll have to use a little, I don't know, makeup remover or something like that. So I guess my thoughts right now would be that you should have a plan as to where and how you want, these to, where you want them to sit, and what you plan on doing, because although there is obviously some working time, there's not a ton of working time. See, I'm going to try to pick up just a tiny bit on this sort of fluffier brush here. I just realized my little lights are in my window are on. We had like a little power hit, and so it sort of resets everything, and they come on after a power. I don't know why they do that. Let me turn those off because I can see them. I don't think you can, but I can see them, and it's kind of distracting. I'll be right back. Let me grab a wipe and try to clean that inner corner up just a little bit, because yeah, these definitely stay once they are dry. So it seems like this is one of those clean up as you go sorts of situations. Let me show you my swatches now that they are dry. So you can see that there's reflect in that purple and that blue, but not in that hot pink, that neon pink. I am expecting a pair of boots today that I ordered from Freebird Shoes, and I'm super excited about getting them, but also a little terrified because I don't know if I'm more terrified that I spent that much on a pair of boots and they won't fit, or that they will fit and I'll want more. That's intense. But it went down really nice. I don't see any super obvious like gaps or anything like that, which happens on more mature eyes more often than I'd like it to. I hope this works. I hope this doesn't look like shit. I'm gonna pick up some of the Venus shade. Maybe I'll use kind of a flat brush, and then I'll use a little bit fluffier brush, kind of like I did for the blue, and just see how it goes. If I need to like blend it out, I'm gonna go in carefully because okay, well, it's damp. I'm gonna go in and this is the problem with having nails, if you want to call it a problem. Okay, going in with it over with my finger, kind of wiped it away a little bit, like after that initial lay down. So I don't think I'm going to do that again. I'll just redo it. I'm going to take this kind of fluffy soft brush, and I'm just going to try to move some of that out just a little bit. So that's really pretty, but it is not moving quite the way I wish it would. That's all right. Maybe I will go into my Pat McGrath palette and pick up one of the special shades and kind of tap that over the place where the blue and the glitter here meet. That is an impressive glitter, though, I will say. Okay, that's really pretty, but it's a little stripy for me. I'm gonna go kind of back and forth lightly with that same blending brush that I used for the blue, and we'll see if we can't diffuse it a little. And if I can't, then I will, and I may do this anyway, I will probably bring in one of those Pat McGrath shades that I was talking about. And it's definitely, like, blending over it like that is definitely giving me sparklies on my cheeks. So I'm not sure that this is one of those things that you would want to be blending at a lot, the glittery one especially, because unless you're willing to do a fair amount of cleanup, or if you're one of those folks that bakes and all that and everything because they do their face first, then maybe that would be adequate. I don't do that because I just don't like the way it looks on me. Okay, I am going to go into the Pat McGrath palette. This is the Bronze Seduction, and I am going to take, I think I'm going to take this one right here because it's the most pinky of the special shades, and I'm going to pick that up with a little pointed brush, okay, pointed fluffy, and I'm just going to very gently tap over where that meets the blue. Yeah, I think that is helping it not look quite so stripey. One thing that might have helped that too is putting the blue all over my eye, and then putting the glitter on top without worrying about leaving that sort of little naked place. That's pretty. I do like that. I would definitely wouldn't do what if I was going to do this again, which I probably will do something like it again, I wouldn't put the glittery one with the idea that, oh, I'm going to blend this out, you know, like you would a powder shadow or something like that, because it doesn't move quite the way I expect it to, and it kind of fluffs everywhere. But I definitely want to use this on its own, like just, you know, on the inner 2/3 of my eye or whatever, something like that. And because this is a super pretty shade. Okay, on my desk here I have the new Huda Beauty khaki haze, I think it's called. Yeah, this is such a yawn palette. Um, sorry, but I'm going to take this sort of light pinky color here. It's like, why is there a pink color in a khaki palette? I don't know, but it's just sitting right here. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of that, and I'm just going to kind of go over the edge of this blue with that, just to kind of soften that. Boy, that is a powdery shade. Is that doing anything? I'm not sure that's doing anything. Maybe I'll go into that and then pick up a little bit of the brown. I am not blown away by this palette. All right, we're gonna leave it there because I'm afraid if I keep going, I'm gonna fuck it up royally. I'm gonna take the purple color, the Wild Orchid, and I'm gonna put a little bit of that out on my palette here, and I'm gonna grab like a liner brush, and I'm gonna mix in a little Duraline with it, just to make it, like I was saying earlier, just make it a little bit more fluid, in the hopes of being able to use this as a liner. Now, I used the blue one the other day and it seemed to work fine, so I don't have any reason to expect that the purple one won't work. So I'm just taking like a little tiny dot of that purple and one tiny little drop of the Duraline, and that's going to make more than enough eyeliner for this look. This is not necessarily something that I would do on a day-to-day basis or anything like that. I have a whole video talking about making your own eyeliners from whatever eyeshadows you have, and in that case I did use Duraline. And I'm not sure that on any other day I would be putting a purple liner with this look, but let's go ahead and put as many of these colors on as I can fit on my eyeballs. Now, adding the Duraline might not be absolutely necessary if you have, smoother eyelids than I do. But I find that having it be a little bit more liquid, a little bit more flowy, really helps it to, I don't know, be a little bit smoother. Just flow on a little bit better, because wings are hard enough as it is without having to struggle with whatever eyeliner that you're using. That's quite nice. We're going to go ahead and attempt a wing here. Okay. I'm trying to get into that frame of mind where I don't overthink it when I do my liner. I mean, I want them to be even, but I find that if I do this part too slow, then it doesn't work that well for me. But of course, doing it quickly can, I don't know, wings are just hard, and you know, they can go wrong in 100 ways plus 100 more that you never even thought of. So that's hardly perfect, but it's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye. Okay, not my best wing job, but not my worst either. But I actually kind of like that dark purple with the dark blue. I didn't know if it would, if you could, if you would be able to tell. I'm going to go into that Huda Beauty palette again. And I'm just going to pick up the tiniest bit of that brown. Okay, that's good enough for this non-professional makeup artist that's staying home all day. Because I went in with that makeup wipe to kind of clean up on my face, I'm going to put some additional moisturizer on under my foundation. This is the little sample of the La Mer soft cream that I got when I bought my La Mer foundation. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it above so that you can see what I think about that super expensive foundation. I'm going to put a little bit of sunscreen on just to see how this foundation plays over something that I usually put on my face most days. Normally, if I was just staying at home, I wouldn't put on sunscreen necessarily. Although, it's a good habit. It's a good thing to get in the habit of doing. I'm going to let this sit on my skin for a little while, make sure it's nice and absorbed, go make a coffee, and I will come back and we will get into the foundation aspect of this video. All right, I'll be right back, guys. All right, let's jump right in to the foundation. I have the color N02, which I think is the second lightest one. I'm not sure. I do believe there is a pretty good shade selection. When I come back and do my check-in, I'll try to remember to bring the call outs and tell you the number of shades and the price and all that stuff. I'm terrible at that part, you guys. So just be patient with me. So this is 0.53 fluid ounces. I think this is $22 if I remember right. This is the Vision Cream Cover, and this is supposed to be a foundation and a concealer kind of in one. And because this is like half of what you normally get in a foundation bottle, I'm thinking that this, like, a little goes a really long way. So I am going to put a pump out, and it's a small pump, so let's hope for the best here. I'm going to leave you zoomed in, and I am going to pick that up on my brush, and Lord, I hope this is an okay color. That's really light. Okay, we're gonna go with it anyway. I don't know how quickly this dries down, so I'm going to err on the side of caution and try to work relatively quickly. Now I'm using a brush, which is what I like to use when I put on my face products, but I will go over this with my sponge as well, and I will probably play with this a little bit as far as seeing, you know, if a sponge is better. I should have done like half my face with a sponge and half with a brush, but I didn't do that because that's not, normally I don't prefer a sponge for application, but this is full coverage, girls and boys. Yes, it is. So that was one pump. I still have a fair amount left on my palette down here, which is a good thing because I'm going to have to go down my neck a little bit. So this is a little light for me, so I wouldn't be able to wear this in the summer at all. I would say that it is a good idea to kind of work in sections, just because it's quite a thick formula, and so it doesn't spread like a thinner formula would. Let's have a look here. Okay, first of all, I like the amount of glow that this is giving me right at the moment. I'm going to bounce over this with my wet sponge because it is looking a little heavy in my T-zone. So we're going to start there, and then I will probably bounce over the rest of my face as well. Okay, so that did lift up some of the excess product, and I definitely appreciate that. I am, because this is supposed to be a foundation and concealer in one, I am going to pick up a little bit on my concealer brush, or the brush that I usually blend out my concealer, and we're going to give it a go as a concealer. So before I do this other eye, I am going to try to pick up that little bit of blue that's on my lower lash line in the corner here. And I used a little bit, that worked, a little bit of the Bioderma stuff. I'll put it down in the description. You can see where this would be a nice concealing product to really clean up outer edges and things like that. I don't usually do that. I prefer to wipe it away than I do to like go over a mess up with concealer. To me, that just doesn't seem quite right. That, because I don't like a lot of concealer, but if you have a lot to conceal and your under eyes can handle it, this seems like it's doing the job. I'm going to go back onto my nose with my brush. This isn't anything extra on it, but there's definitely some product here. All right, let's see how that looks. All right, it's not bad. It is a little heavy looking. So I think if you are a full coverage kind of girl or boy, you're gonna like this. It does have a nice glow to it. It's not feeling super tacky, but it's feeling tacky enough, damp enough that I think I'm gonna go ahead and powder a little. This is just my Bare Minerals powder. So it's not totally full coverage because I can still see my little sunspot there, and the one on my forehead. I don't know, I feel like kind of like my face, like the redness is still coming through. Hopefully that's not like a part of the product, like a problem with the product. Let's hope not, because I'm not particularly sensitive to most things, but you know, it can happen. I don't think this really has fragrance in it. We're gonna leave it there for the moment. I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of my makeup on, and then we will come back and I will finish off with the highlighter and try to figure out something to put on my lower lash line. I'm not sure what. I don't know that I want to use one of these like hardcore cream products because I probably be next week before I got it off. But I'll think of something and I'll come back and share with you what I put on the rest of my face. I'll be right back, guys. Okay. All right, guys. I am back and let's go ahead and do the highlighter before we move on to the lower lash line. And over the course of the last couple of days playing with this, I've discovered that less is more, because like I say, this is the glittery version. I really would like to try the normal, I can't think what it's called, the normal highlighter. But this is, I mean, this is really, really pretty, and it's a lovely shade. Did I say what shade this was? This is Angel Wings. So it's definitely got that like wet look to it, but it is on the glittery side, which I don't love, but I like this. In general, I don't love glittery highlights, but this is such a pretty color that I'm going with it. Let's go ahead and do a little something on the lower lash line before I finish this video up. I'm going to take the palette that I used yesterday, the Pinky Rose Exotic Peacock palette, and I'm just going to pick out a couple shades from this to put on my lower lash line because it's got kind of the same dark blue vibe to it. Okay, let's do a little bottom mascara and then we will wrap this up. All right, guys, let me give you just a few little final thoughts on these products. I really like these cream shadows. They're really kind of interesting. Now, is this something that I'm going to reach for, every single day or anything like that? No, it's not as easy as a powder shadow from a palette or something like that. It's just not. But the payoff is definitely worth it if you want to do something that's really dramatic like this, or something that's very structured where you want lots of like graphic lines and that kind of thing. I don't tend to do that very much because my eyes are asymmetric enough that I can't ever get things to look the way that I want them to. So, you have to adjust for your own personal tastes and the things that you are able to do, your skill levels, your face structure, all of those kinds of things. You have to adjust a little bit. But I really like these, and I would definitely like to have more. I will definitely be using the cushion color one. I just didn't want it for today's look. But I mean, it's a beautiful, bright, intense green. I mean, it's gorgeous. And there's other shades of this and stuff. I'll have some details down below. Before I talk about the foundation, let me tell you real quick what I put on the rest of my face. For a bronzer, I use my Fenty bronzer in the shade Into Sun. It's the powder bronzer I reach for often, and I've mentioned it a million times before, so it will be linked down below as well. I went in with the Ambient Lighting Blush Quad from Hourglass, and I went in with these two colors right here. For my lashes, I went in with the Flutter Lashes in the style Heavenly. Let's just go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room, the foundation. I sprayed liberally with the Collab spray today. It's not bad. I'm not going to say that it's bad because it's not. And the setting spray definitely helped kind of melt everything together. So I'm interested to see how this wears over the course of the day. This is feeling and looking a little bit like the Wander foundation that I used yesterday. I certainly appreciate the fact that it's got nice coverage, that it's got a nice glow to it. I did powder, but I still feel like, you can see some of the glow on especially like on my forehead and stuff. As a concealer, this is a no-go for me. It's just too much. I much prefer the formula of my Giorgio Armani concealer that I've been using lately, and some other concealers that I also have. So this is just, it's just a little bit too much for under the eyes. So I ended up going back and patting out all the creasing basically, and powdering with my NARS crystal powder, and it'll be okay for today, but it's not something that I'm going to bring up under my eyes again. I appreciate the amount of coverage that this has, especially considering the fact that there's half the amount in this particular bottle that there is in the average foundation bottle. Price wise, and the fact that there's half the foundation, but then you need probably not even half as much, it probably all comes out in the wash as far as price point is concerned. I will definitely wear this again. I'm interested to play with this a little bit more, mix it with some things maybe, and see how that affects it. I will do a check-in a little bit later, let you know how everything is wearing on my face today. I will have everything linked below as always. And I'm going to go ahead and insert that check-in right about here. Hi guys, I'm doing my check-in for the end of the day for wearing the Danessa Myricks products that I put on this morning. This stuff has been on my face for about 8 hours. And let me grab my mirror. So I really like the eye products that I used quite a bit. I think they stayed nicely. I took a nap this afternoon too, so because my neck has just been killing me. I think I need new pillows or something. But I took a nap this afternoon, and everything seemed to wear pretty well. I'm going to say that it is a little bit heavy, like it's kind of settled in these creases of my nose. It looks dry. So this is very much like the Huda Beauty foundation that I tried yesterday. In that sense, in the sense that it looks and feels just a tiny bit dry. So I definitely don't hate this foundation. It has nice coverage. I don't know that it has like super full coverage. It has the most that I would ever want, but like I can still see little spots and things like that coming through on my skin, but nothing that makes me think, wow, this is heavy and dry and cakey and it doesn't cover. It's definitely not that. In the future, I will likely put on extra moisturizer just like I would with the Huda Beauty, and be a little extra careful about blending it around my nose. Now I don't see anything anywhere else other than it looks kind of dry right here, which is so typical for me. So I think that is about it for my assessment of this foundation. I like it. I will definitely wear it again. I wanted to share the call outs for this. Okay, so the Color Fix 24-hour color creams, these guys, the ones that I used on my eyes, those are $18. The foil is also the one that I put in the center. The foil is also $18. The foundation ranges from $5 to $28. Now they have samples. They have like little sort of concealer clicky pen sizes, and then they have the full size one like I bought, which is the $28 price point. Okay, the Enlight Halo powders, those are $22. The cushion color ones, like the bright green that I got, those are $15. Okay, so the Vision Cream Cover, the combination foundation concealer, says this, I'm reading this from the website, from the Danessa Myricks website, a versatile foundation concealer hybrid using the latest texture minimizing technology to create a silky smooth finish. Offers options from sheer to buildable full coverage, Formulated with hydrating and protective vitamin E and 100% plant-derived squalene, this fusion of silicone, wax, and oil both treats and perfects skin. It looks like if you want to, it says 1 drop, so I'm guessing that means like 1 pump, because that was a pretty small pump, for full coverage application with a natural finish. And it says that you can mix a drop of the foundation with a beauty oil. Their beauty oil is what they suggest, of course, to create a more emollient and thinner, more sheer formula. As far as the natural finish, I feel like that's relatively true. I'm going to say it maybe a natural matte because of the sort of dryness that I'm seeing and experiencing. You know, I don't want that to like scare anybody off. I don't want the whole dry thing to scare anybody off, because, you know, there's, first of all, if you've got oilier skin, you're probably going to really like this. I've only had this on my face for like 8 hours, and I don't feel like it has gotten any worse or broken down anywhere. The things that I'm seeing, except for the little bit of creasing around my nose, are things that I noticed when I put this on. I am going to leave it there, I think, for that part of it. The eyeshadows, yeah, I think they look just as pretty now as when I put them on, which I fully expected, since these are marketed as a 24-hour cream color product. The highlight is super pretty. I've decided that I do like this highlight quite a bit. So even though this is super glittery and stuff, I still think it's quite a subtle glitter. If I don't know how else to put it. But it is it's such a pretty color. I think that is going to do it for this first impressions wear test mini review of the Danessa Myricks products that I picked up. Obviously I did not pick up the whole collection. I will have everything linked below, of course, as always. And I'm gonna let you get back to the regular video. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time here. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, give me a like, subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell for notification whenever I upload a new video. And until next time, I'll see you later, guys. Bye.